Hey there, this is Jen T. Grace, founder of the Institute for Author Growth and Impact and founder of Publish Your Purpose. I am here for day number 9 of our workshop related to how to use AI as a thought partner to get our book out of our head onto the page so it can be into the world and into the hands of our readers. So just a kind of quick reminder of what we've talked about the last time, session 8, which was on Tuesday. We talked about pressure testing our book concept. So we went through, we had a prompt that really helped us kind of identify what the objections our readers might be having and how can we make sure that we're opening our chapters and opening the book in ways that kind of addresses those as we go through. So that was day 8. We're here for day 9. And day 9, we're going to talk about clarifying our book. So this is an AI prompt that's going to help us clarify our book idea in 100 words. So when we look at the difficulty of getting a book out there, sometimes a lot of times it's just kind of stuck in our head. We know what we want to say. We don't really know how to actually go about saying it when we sit down to type or sit down to write, and we get stuck. So the more direction we can have, the more what I call all the time is North Stars, the more North Stars that we can have, the more effective it can be in us getting across the finish line when we have those bumps in the road, the highs, the lows, the hurdles, the hiccups, etc., because all of that happens. So the more prepared for that we can be, the better. What we can do with this is if we have a draft book description, that's going to give us another anchor point. It's going to give us another kind of direction toward that North Star, and it's going to give us an anchor point. So when we're thinking about the book, we're writing to our target reader for the book, we're thinking of what was that description that I wrote? This is not to say that this description is something that just stays here forever. It is hey, let me just clarify the entire book that I'm trying to write and put it in a place where I can see it. That is a working book description. And having a working book description can be so valuable because you can share it with other people too from a pre-marketing standpoint. That's a whole other conversation. But what it allows us to do is it gives us that point of like, yes, that's what I said I was going to write about. That's the direction I'm writing in. Does what I'm currently working on, does that fit the theme, the vibe, the emotion, etc., of what I have put down on paper? So I love having a book description really kind of early on in the process, and it will morph and change many, many times over time. And what will likely happen is that you will work with someone to help you refine that book description to make it more SEO friendly, more targeted and specific, really thinking about the metadata of it, etc. So today's prompt, and just a reminder, is that we have an AI Your Book toolkit on the authorgrowthandimpact.org website that you can go check out that has today's prompt and all of the other prompts that have led us up to today. This is kind of like the crescendo, if you will, of our process. So the prompt I want you to do, and like we've been doing this whole time, I'm going to give you the prompt and then I'm going to tell you what my AI told me. So you're going to say, I'm writing a nonfiction book or memoir for, you're going to put in your target reader based on all the information that we've done previously, the book covers, and put your main topics in here. Again, I would just grab everything that your AI has spit out for the entire 8 days prior today. The transformation I want my reader to experience is, this is something we worked on the other day. Then we're going to ask it, write 3 versions of back cover copy for this book. Make each one feel different. One that's direct and practical, one that's story-driven and emotional, and one that's bold and provocative. Each version should be 75 to 100 words. That is your prompt. Okay, now I will tell you what mine gave back to me. So I wrote for mine, I am writing a nonfiction book for professionals at a personal or career breaking point who struggle with knowing there's something bigger for them, but not knowing how to uncover it. The book covers uncovering internal purpose, dismantling the safety versus purpose binary, finding the clue trail in your own history, and microdosing intentional living without blowing up your life. The transformation I want my reader to experience is moving from feeling trapped and exhausted to clearly knowing their purpose and having a pragmatic path to live it. Write 3 versions of back cover copy, ... Okay. Now remember that those statements that I just read are all statements that I've been generating with my AI. I have intentionally not been editing these statements that are coming back. If I were doing this in full using this for myself mode, I would absolutely be making edits and tweaks and kind of refining this as I go. I am using this as kind of a big picture case study, if you will, of what this can look like and how it can play out for you. So AI gave me back the three things that we asked. It came back with direct and practical, story-driven and emotional, and bold and provocative. What we're doing here is that we're asking it to give us three options and three paths and three different directions, because what that's going to help us do is we're going to start to see what tone and emotion and approach does the book feel like we want to write, but also what sounds good to our ear. What sounds good where you're like, oh yes, that's the book I want to promote. That's the book I want to write. That's the book I want to talk about. So when we ask it to kind of give us three completely different directions, we can start to refine like, okay, I didn't realize this, but I really want to go with a bold and provocative approach. Or, you know what, I was really thinking I wanted to be a little more emotional and story driven, but I'm actually realizing that practical and direct feels more aligned. That's why we're kind of asking for these different directions. So my version 1 of direct and practical is you don't need to blow up your life to find your purpose. If you look successful on paper, but utterly trapped and exhausted, you aren't failing. You've just outgrown the career you built on everyone else's expectations. This pragmatic guide maps a realistic path out of the corporate grind. You will learn to dismantle the false choice between financial safety and personal fulfillment, uncover the hidden clue trail in your own history, and microdose intentional living in just minutes a day. Stop surviving. Here is your blueprint to strategically transition into meaningful success. So that's direct and practical. Honestly, I'm not really like super into it, if I'm being honest. So now I know version 1, direct and practical, just feels too flat. And remember, this is for the starting point. You could take all three of these and go back to it and say, I like this sentence from this one, this sentence from this one, this sentence from this one. I don't like this practical approach. I want something a little more emotional, and see what it comes back with. So the goal is to be able to take these three and keep iterating from here. We're not just taking one of these and running with it, and then we want to edit on top of that. So version 2 is story-driven and emotional. You sit in your car staring at the office door wondering, is this really it? Deep down, you have always known there's something bigger meant for you, but right now you're just too tired to look for it. This book is an invitation to drop the armor. Written for professionals at their absolute breaking point, this moving guide helps you gently excavate your true purpose from the wreckage of burnout. By tracing your personal history and making quiet, intentional micro shifts, you can reclaim your fire and rewrite your story without risking security. That one is feeling already much more aligned. Okay, so here we are with that. Then we have version 3, bold and provocative. Your breaking point is not a crisis. It's an awakening. Society told you a lie, that you must choose between a soul-crushing paycheck and financial ruin. It's time to reject the binary. If you are exhausted from playing a character in your own life, this book gives you a permission slip to disrupt the status quo. This is not a soft self-help. It's a tactical mutiny against the golden handcuffs. Learn how to weaponize your history, decode your frustration, and aggressively integrate purpose into your daily reality. This corporate cage is unlocked. Will you step out? I don't really like that one either. So I kind of like the opening of the bold and provocative one. I really like the story-driven and emotional one, and I did not like the direct and pragmatic one. So now I can go in and grab the sentences from each where I'm like, okay, this is, here's the pieces that are really resonating with me. And you can ask your AI, thought partner, ask me more questions to get to the bottom of what I'm really trying to go for here. And then just see what it asks you and just keep putting it in. And the more you can kind of refine it back to say, okay, now give this to me in 100 words, because the goal is to have something that's short, that's punchy, that's marketing, that's going to kind of sell the idea of the book. And remember, this is really primarily for your own benefit right now. This really is not for external purposes. However, you can absolutely put it on your website. You can put it in your LinkedIn, as a publication in your LinkedIn. You can do it as part of a pre-order campaign. There's a lot of things that you can do with this from a marketing standpoint. And at the same time, this is really for your eyes only, because it's meant to be an anchor point for you to just sink into when you are writing this and you're like, Why did I decide to write this book? Because inevitably you will ask that question not once, not twice, not thrice. You will ask yourself that many, many times of why did I decide to do this? And when we can go back to who we're doing this for, what's the impact and transformation we want to have for our readers, and this general high level kind of salesy description of what the book is about, those things are like, that's right, this isn't about me. We're getting me and my ego out of the equation because it's our ego that is the thing that really screws a lot of things up in this process. We can kind of set the ego aside and say, okay, ego, you live over here. I don't need your opinion right now. I just need to focus on what this is for me and how this makes sense. Okay. So hopefully this makes sense for you. As usual, there will be a link in the comment below. I will encourage you to check out the author growth and impact.org website. You can go to /AI-your-book, and that will bring you to our AI guide that has these 9 prompts that we have been going through over the last 9 days, has all of those prompts together to create one big comprehensive system that you can do before you start writing your book. If you've already started to write your book, that's fantastic. This is kind of like a beautiful layer to add onto it. But if the book is just still kind of in your head, you're thinking about it, but you don't really know what to do with it, this is the thing to start with. And, there's just so many different functions for using AI that I highly recommend. But I will always make the note that we're not using it to write. It is not here to replace you. It is not here to replace your style, your writing, your tone, your emotion, your stories, etc. It's here to just help you think about how to get there faster. That is ultimately the end goal here. So I want to make sure that throughout this entire 9 days of this workshop, it has been very clear that I'm not a proponent of having AI replace your voice. It is really here to just help you kind of like uncover and dig and think and give you these kind of anchor points and North Stars to kind of march toward as you're getting this done. So that is all for today. I really appreciate you. Again, go check out the website and go check out the AI Your Book toolkit there. And I will see you again. Thank you so much. Have a great, great day.